perfect. Okay, so today's backtesting session, we're starting here March 5th, 2024. Primarily, we're looking over narrative and looking for golden chicken and golden goose setups. As usual, when we start, we always look at the higher time frame and do a top-down analysis. I just start with the 15 minute. I'm usually trading on the 15 seconds, so I tend not to go too much higher than the 15 minute. I might glance at like the 4 hour really quickly, but I don't find it too relevant in my trading just because I'm dealing with the 15 second, right? 15 minute usually tells me more than I need to know. Especially in the 15, you can even see higher time frames looking at the 15 just with your eyes. So we can see that we are higher time frame making higher highs, higher low, higher highs. So we're trending up on the higher time frame. We had a nice push up, and we're starting to retrace back down. I did mark a S&D zone here of interest. If we tap into here, potentially I am expecting a reaction, right? But we have to watch the right side of the chart to see what exactly is happening. This move down is pretty strong for now. We see some relatively equal highs here, so this doesn't look like a top to me. There's a lot of liquidity up above. Right, there's a large fair value gap on a higher time frame. Looks like we are filling it. We got some initial reaction off there, but right now on a lower time frame we are heading down. Okay, so if we go to let's go to the 5 minute quickly. Right, so lower time frame, we are market structure is pretty much down. At least internal structure. We do have a little 5 minute swing here. So if you count that as structure, we kind of broke 5 minute structure down, but I wouldn't put too much weight on that. It still does look like internal structure to me, where this is the swing low on the 15, and here we're just making internal structure down, right? So lower time frame facilitates to higher time frame structure. The higher time frame is king until it's not. So 15 minute looks bullish. Lower time frame just delivering down to the 15 minute point of interest. We have some fractal zones here, right? We got a little bit of a reaction there. Even here, I can show you, right? We got a little bit of movement here in this zone. Let's delete this since it's already mitigated. Now we're tapping into this zone. We got a little bit of a flip, right? 5 minute structure flip within a fractal point of interest. So potentially short term can be bullish, right? So that might be all that we're coming down to. We might not be coming down to this big zone. We might just be coming down to this small fractal. All right, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Potentially we could be bullish. A little bit of liquidity up above here. That could be a short-term target. Right, we have like if we're looking at the confluences of value lows, we have 5 minute value lows and probably 15 minute value low here too. Right, 15 minute value low put in. Right, so short term we could be heading up higher. There's a fair value gap here. We're seeing a bit of resistance here, but there's also a fair value gap here that we could just be coming back, and the order flow can be heading up to target some of this liquidity up here. That would be my short term bias at this point. Right, came down, tapped into a S&D here, gave us a little bit of a flip. Right, showing some signs of strength. So it really depends right here. If we get another sign of strength, I might be short-term bullish. Right, look at the 1 minute. All right, the 1 minute definitely looks like. I mean, we definitely flipped on the 1 minute. Right, again here, this is the area that we're seeing some resistance. So we haven't where we broke structure to the downside, right? So we flipped 1 minute higher, and then we just flipped lower, right? So what we ideally want to see is a 1 minute flip to go higher, right? So right now, my bias is kind of 50-50, right? Now, if we see a 1 minute flip here above this, then short term, I would be targeting up here. And let's see what time it's now. As of this playback, it's midnight right now. So we'll play it a little bit and see if we can. Um, we'll see what price is telling us. Okay, so speed it up to 10x. Okay, so that's clearly a glitch in NinjaTrader. What the heck? I would ignore that. Um, what the heck? Why is it like that? Yeah, so this is clearly off. Reload. Okay, there we go. That's better. Right. It's coming down. So always the concern with flips, especially if it's like a lower time frame flip or if it's only just like a candlestick flip, is that it could just be a fake flip. It could just be going to mitigate something and then continuing the trend that it's currently on. And this trend is heading down, right? It's kind of extended at this point and into a S&D zone, but the trend is still down, right? So the problem with these flips is that you don't know if this is a real flip, um, ready to start a new uptrend, right? Or if this is just coming back up here to mitigate, like a fair value gap and then taking this low again, um, right? So I think we'll have to see. So far, it does look like it potentially wants to come down here and maybe further mitigate this zone more. Potentially would be my guess. You guys can hear me, right? The audio is okay. A deplorable devil. And yeah, as always, if you guys have questions, anything you want me to go over specifically, just mention in chat, and happy to go answer any questions or talk about anything specific. Wait, this is just a backtesting session because today's July 4th, and we're expecting not to see favorable trading conditions today. So might as well preserve your capital. Um, okay, here we go. See some. So if I'm long, I mean, if I were to go long, what am I looking for, right? So my narrative tells me that there's liquidity up here, right? So I want to see enough selling pressure and then liquidity being taken here into a fair value gap, right? Relatively equal highs here. So this is actually not looking bad for longs, but no setup for me, no trade for me right now. But this could potentially start heading up. Let's see. Speed things up. Little all right, we'll expect that to hold if we're gonna go up. Okay, so it looks like it's still pretty bearish potentially. Wait, it just swept it. Yeah, it closed below the SNDR. It looks like it's heading down. So this would be potentially my target. This SNDR, we can mark off the mover region, something like that. So we can expect a little some reaction here potentially, or depending on the strength of this, we're just gonna look to take this low, and then resume the overall trend. what has me cautious of going short right now is just because we are trading into a higher time frame point of interest where I'm looking for longs, and we're kind of overextended. All right, so right now it's just kind of watching price until price starts to kind of align with their narrative. All right, so we just took the slow. Again, we're into an S and D. So this maybe will start coming up now. Let's see. Right, took this point of interest into an SNDR. Right, still bearish. So this is what I mean, right? Sometimes little flips like this are only coming in to mitigate an area to head lower, right? This would be like a golden goose setup to the downside. But again, my narrative is keeping me out right now, just because I'm expecting reactions. We're in some significant areas. Now we can, I mean, the momentum is still pretty bearish, so if you're aggressive, like this potentially could be a trade down, because we swept into a zone with a fair value gap, so it's pretty decent. Let's get rid of this. So pretty bearish actually. Okay, so this is the larger zone, and this is that little fractal above it. So I'm thinking maybe we sweep the fractal into the larger zone. We do a couple. We start accumulating here, right? Maybe a bit of ranging, and then we head up. All right, right, and that would make sense, right? Once we take this and we start accumulating here, we're building up long positions. Like smart money is building up long positions to then potentially take it up and unload up here. All right, so if you guys haven't watched my narrative video, I do recommend it because I do go over how I view smart money and what I like what I think that they're doing. Right, I always look at smart money buying low and selling high. And if they're buying low, how are they buying low? They're usually manipulating retail to sell first before taking it higher, right? So they're taking lows. So liquidity lies above and below old highs and old lows, right? So if smart money knows that, they're bringing it down. Presumably they're selling here and then they're buying here, right? So they're buying low and selling high, right? So if they're and the more people that are selling in certain areas, they're buying and they're filling their bags, and that's when they're ready to take it up to unload again to higher prices, right? So they're buying low and selling high. So if they're gonna buy low and sell high, where would be the optimal location for them to do that? Right, the best location for them to do that again is in S&D areas where they have previous orders, and below like inducement, right? So it would be below this low where there's people that are selling. It will be below each low that they're creating with move up. So that's inducement, right? And then they're taking that and finding sell stops, right? So this is smart money, taking those sell stops, taking these sell stops, and accumulating longs, right, into key areas where they originally bought to go higher, where there's unfilled orders. So they're accumulating, and so if you're thinking like smart money, you're thinking like, where is the best place for smart money to fill their bags? And so my narrative says it'll be somewhere around here at this point, and then they fill their bags, and then they start selling it as people are buying it up here, right? So obviously that's not enough to enter a position, right? This is just me speculating on building my narrative, right? And this is combined with my market structure of higher time frame, right? That we're heading higher, right? But I mean, this is narrative, and so what I want to see is I want to see price start aligning with my narrative, right? I want to see price come down and then show signs of strength, right? And then once price starts aligning with my narrative, then I look for an entry, right? Which is like golden goose and golden chicken entry, right? So I want my narrative and price action and my setup criteria to be all aligned for me to take a trade, right? So here, this is interesting, right? So this is still a fractal. We hit the 50% of the fractal. We took this low, right? And we're seeing a little bit of a bounce here. So this might be enough, given that we got this fairly large rundown. Like this might be enough. I still think I mean ideally a higher probability would be in here, this area, but I think that this fractal is big enough that we can go up higher from here as well. So I'm keeping an eye. I'm keeping an eye on it. Excuse me. Right, especially if we get 15-minute value low put in. Right, so if we get 15-minute value low put in, which we haven't yet. Right, I mean this 15-minute close below. So we did get a 15-minute value low put in, and we have a 5-minute value low put in, right? So those are decent confluences to have, but you don't want to rely solely on that. But this could actually be okay, right? The 15-minute value low, 5-minute value low, after tapping 50% of the S&D, after taking this liquidity, right? That could be a short-term, that could be enough for a short-term bias to at least come up into maybe 50% of this zone, right? So we could potentially come up to here, at least for a short-term bias, right? Here we have 15-second fair value gap. Yeah, I don't. So swap this. So let me know if I'm coughing too much in your ears. I'm trying to move the mic away. My throat is a bit sore. Okay, so swap these lows. Yeah, it's still bearish. So I'm gonna wait, looking for this low to be taken first, and then I'm expecting us to head higher after that. And so for me, like it's important that I mean that I slow down and although there are short setups here, right? And if you were short, then you could find entries here, but you want to stick to your strategy and trades that give you the highest possible setup, right? The highest possible chance of having a winning trade. So you want to be disciplined and only stick to that, right? So for me, and you guys might do it differently, right? So for me, I need narrative and price to align with my narrative, and then the setup to show up. Otherwise, I'm not interested in taking trades, even though there are lots of trade opportunities. In the past, I take too many trades. I take trades just based on narrative or just based on setups, like golden goose, golden chicken, without it matching my narrative, without matching those things, and a lot of times those turns into losers, right? So just being patient and having everything aligned for me gives me a much higher win rate, right? So we're coming down. 50% gave us a tiny reaction, but this was a fake, right? Coming down lower. Back to the 1 minute, right? So this is a swing, like that. Possibly tap back in and go down lower. So if there's too many lines here, I'll try to clean it up a bit. This is low. There's the zone. There's the larger zone below. Well, what often happens is that just before specific zones, they'll create like some inducement, right? Inducement, and then take it into the zone and then to head up, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a decent decent move up and then head down. Just clean up this. Right, so this might be a golden, right? See all this liquidity taken? 5 minute fair value gap. 15-minute fair value gap. Right, little 1 minute fair value gap. Oh, that color's not good. Okay, it's pretty strong move up. So I'm thinking, my narrative tells me this is inducement. Come back down into this zone, take out these inducements, take out these sell stops, and then start accumulating, and then we have our final change in order flow to go higher and to continue the higher time frame order flow. Right, so this is definitely enticing to go long, right? But my narrative, like if so, here's the thing, right? There's three things, right? I mentioned there's I need to get my notification. Didn't see it. Hey, future trader. Yeah. So I mentioned two things, right? So there's narrative, there's price action, and there's your setup criteria, right? So if you're just looking at price action alone, right, and you don't have narrative, then price action is going to trick you into entries, right? Right. This is gonna trick you. Okay, now we're bullish again. We just flip, right? And so you might think about looking longs here, right? And sometimes you'll be right, right? Sometimes if you're just looking at price action, you'll be right, right? But if you have narrative, right? Narrative kind of prevents you from getting faked out, right? If you've been trading for any amount of time, you'll notice that the market is always tempting you, right? It's always tempting you to enter, and it's always faking you out, right? And yeah, sometimes you might be right, but this is a fake out, right? And narrative is keeping me out of this, right? If I didn't have narrative, I'd be like, okay, time to long, right? We just flipped, right? And it'd be like time to long, right? But my narrative is like we're still bearish until we take out this low. And now I could be wrong, right? So, um, but at least I'm not um, risking my money until I have the confidence where those three things align. And that's just for me, right? So narrative, I have current price action, and then I look for my setup, my entry setup. So those are the three things that I look for specifically before I will even consider entering a trade. Hey Paradise, hey Vic, good to see you guys. Happy 4th of July for those who are celebrating. Yeah. So I'm not American. I'm actually Canadian. So, but I follow American stuff pretty closely. We're pretty close. Hey, Murray. Oh no, it's all good. I mean, Canadians and Americans are pretty much like, we're neighbors. We're pretty much brothers, so it's all good.
We decided to take over your backtesting session, Paul.
Hey, Sergio. Yeah, come on by, come
we
on
were
by.
we were in at the other room and decided one, two, three, let's go for Paul.
Yeah.
So now you have a huge crowd here, and you have to prove that we are in the right place.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. I'll try my
I'm
best.
sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. Okay.
Now I'm all nervous. Um,
Oh no! Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be. Don't be. Don't be.
alright. Yeah, no losses yet. All right, welcome all, welcome all. All right, so I'll just explain quickly narrative, my narrative right now. So for those who just joined, we're in a 15-minute uptrend, but we're lower time frame are trending down. My expectation is that I'm waiting for this zone to get taken and then into this larger zone, and I'm waiting for some accumulation and potentially a trend up. So there were short opportunities, but I didn't take it because I'm waiting for us to start trending up, maybe. Um, and then once I see that, I'm looking for some longs. So right now we're just kind of reading price, trying to read narrative, and I gave some tips on what I look for entries, like when do I actually pull the trigger when I enter, and how I'm starting to become more disciplined and starting to cut back on the number of trades I have and cut back by requiring a few different things before I enter. So right now we almost took this zone that I was waiting for. Let's see here. Right. So again, another inducement, I think, and then come down to take it. Let's see. All right. So final inducement, taking this, taking taking it, taking that zone into this larger zone that I was expecting, right? And now I'm looking for changes in order flow where I'll be interested in getting long. I'm sitting on my hands just because again I'm expecting strong reaction out of this zone and or some accumulation first, while smart money is building up their position. So this is my narrative. And I was mentioning to the people earlier that I'm waiting for price to align with my narrative, and then I'm looking for my entry criteria, which is golden goose, golden chicken, to find entries. Right, so I'm not necessarily shorting here at this point because I'm expecting again that we're accumulating to go long based on my narrative. What time frame is this big zone? Yeah, the big zone is a 15 minute. So we can definitely find, or it can even be a higher time frame. This is probably like, uh, this is like a 4 hour maybe even. So definitely there could be some accumulation, some back and forth um, going on here for sure, right? But I am expecting bounces. Maybe the 30% tap, and then we go up. Let's see. Right, and often I see this pattern playing out where we have a little wedge or like a little channel, whatever you call it, that's kind of going down, right? But here we just broke it up, right? So this is kind of so if I'm looking for longs, well, I mean I'm not looking for longs yet, but here we have kind of a little change. Yeah, so I heard Zeiss did a pretty good backtesting session earlier today. I'm sorry I missed it. And then Vic did one. So I'm loving the community engagement. Everyone's like learning and growing together. It's really awesome. Yeah. So what was Zeiss doing? He was just marking off every single golden chicken, golden goose, right? Was it?
Yes, in with some explaining some the reasons for his trades and why what we he was seeing, marking zones, etc. It was an excellent back test.
Nice. Was he?
He was doing candle by candle on trading view
Oh, okay. So in the 1 minute
on the
and
15 second.
a 15 second. Um, nice. Was
Yeah,
he was he was he
he
doing
will repeat.
was he doing
So
narrative at all, or was he just doing like very mechanical?
no, with narrative. Yeah, with narrative.
Nice.
Not high time frame narrative. Sometimes yes, looking at the 15 minutes, but mainly looking at the short term trend and in the flips and
Got it.
uh, we will work on other backtesting sessions from me. That's my idea, and of course I will discuss that with Chuck and with you, Paul, during next days about this. But I think that the community is getting stronger and stronger. We have many plenty of guys that are mastering the strategy and the model. The models are quite simple,
Mm-hmm.
and for some guys they are already already I don't know the right word, but they are mastering already. So it will be really great to have several guys making frequent backtesting sessions
Yes.
and opened like Zeiss did it today. Murray was there asking questions with voice. Other guys were there questioning and trying to understand, uh, participating, not just one way.
Oh, that's great.
It was really great, and we need to do more and more and more and more of this because we have guys from guys that are mastering and from different time frames, from different time zones. So we can have one guy backtesting each session if we want to. And
Nice.
it's and as you know, Paul, and several other guys already know that as well. When you teach, you try to teach or to show your knowledge to other guys, you also learn a lot from it.
Yes. Yeah.
So 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 people don't need to be afraid of jumping in and be conducting backtesting sessions because at the end they will they will end stronger
Yes.
and stronger from each one of the sessions, and we
Yes.
have to, as a community, we have to do that more and more and more.
I
that's
100%
by
agree.
that's the way I see it.
Yeah, if you can teach and you can explain something simply, you can take a complicated subject and explain it in a simple term. That's when you really understand it, right? And that's showing yourself that hey, like I finally really understand it because I can explain it in a simple way, and it helps. And then also when you're doing it live, it makes you more disciplined, right? Because you have a lot of pressure and people watching you, so you have to be disciplined and do a good job. It helps you, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
uh,
wonderful.
so
I
guys,
agree completely.
so in the chart here,
Colorful. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a 15-minute valid low, right? And then a 5-minute valid low, right? So right now I'm, and then we're in an area of interest for me. We took a lot of liquidity, right? So we have a 15 minute. So I am expecting price to start heading up, at least in the short term, right? We have this little zone though that I'm a bit concerned about that I want to see flip eventually, but I'm gonna start looking for some longs. So just letting people know, just because we have the confluence here in my area that I'm looking for longs. Um, so let's hopefully you guys all caught that. Right, Sergio's new mic, yes, is nice. And then let's look at the 1 minute structure, right? 1 minute structure, we kind of have, right? So we have a flip here, right? So the 1 minute protected low is here, I mean protected high is here, right? And we flipped it, right? So we had a valid low, valid high. So we have a 1 minute structure flip, right? 15-minute valid low, 5 minute valid low, right? In an area of interest after taking a lot of liquidity. And so I'm thinking that this is my short-term bias is looking up. So we're looking for some golden goose setups. We have a zone here. Right, we have these little, so I want to see it come into this zone, right? We have this little thing, but I want to see these three swept. This might be enough right here, but I would prefer we go back into the zone here. Yeah, so it might have been, and the time is 5:50, so London is just ending. So yeah, so it looks like if we had entered in that one, it would not have worked out. So now, again, I wanted to see us tap into this zone, take some of this, right? And then here we're kind of getting a lot of liquidity here that's fairly close, right? So you might want to be, how many points is this? How much is this? Like 1.25. Got a val low put in. All right, so just tap into this. So this looks like a golden goose to me. All right. Tap back into the zone, swept it 15-second val low. We swept all of these lows down here. Um, right, flip 1 minute structure, 15-minute val low, 5 minute val low. Um, so let's take it. I mean, doesn't look right. These candles are quite large, relative to this movement here, right? But let's just look at this. Come on, there we go. Okay, so my first trade. After all that, I'm happy with that. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Vic. All right, all right. So that's your golden goose, right? You have liquidity being taken in form of 15-second value lows, right? In this case, there's three of them, right? I was not happy with the first one just because there's so many more below. This looked like one more inducement, and plus we didn't tap into like there was this little fractal zone, but that was tapped into a bunch of times already. So I wanted it to be tapped into here and sweeping these value lows, and then that would have been my trade. Yeah, clean SNDR. Yeah, this is a clean SNDR, right? So happy with that trade. Right, and like I mentioned, like my narrative is now aligned, price is now aligned with my narrative, and now I'm looking for my entries. Let me slow this down. Okay, so potentially, I mean, I don't like this. There's like a little fractal here, but it's not really a zone. But we see a golden chicken here, 15-second fair value gap into a fractal, right? But that's not. It's not that. It's not that nice, right? But then here, um, so if I get a sweep of these two, that might be that might be an entry for me. Let's see. All right. So here, kind of similar, right? So we're trending up. We took this little inside high, right? So this might be an area we can. It might actually head down a bit. Right. But I think that we're heading up, right? Maybe to take some of this. This was not as clean to me just because we don't have a zone. We have a fractal, right? I know I've seen Sergio take some of these fractals, um, but for me, this is not that clean of a zone. I think this is still gonna work, um, but since I'm streaming in front of you guys, I only want to take like A plus setups. I do like this. Like this is pretty good to me, right? The fact that we just swept two of these 15-second, um, right? It's clearly aligned with my bias, and we have a fractal. I wish that this was a little bit more cleaner. So let's just play a price and see if I miss the trade. But I do like this for long. I do like it. Farmers, what we're gonna need for that? A farmer zone, yeah, a fractal zone. Yeah, this is definitely a zone. I think Sergio does like this, but I'm just not too confident. I think that this probably will work, right? So say something like this. Yeah, look at this, worked immediately, right? So I missed out on this trade, right? I was like, oh, I like this, and I talked myself out of it, right? Which happens, right? But at least you know you're not risking, right? You only want to risk money. You want to treat it like a business, right? You don't want to just take a trade just because. You want to make sure that the trades that you take are aligned with your plan, right? And that you're only taking it on what you believe is like an A plus setup that meets all of your criteria, and this is a business, right? Not just to take trades for fun, right? You want it to align. Now this did kind of align with it, but the only thing like I would have taken this 100% if I liked the zone a little bit better. This would have been like an A plus, but this kind of had me thinking that like for me it's not 100% A plus. Yeah, you will find another setup. Yeah, he does like it. Clean SNDR. I think it means clean, meaning that it's not mitigated. It means that nothing's tapped into the SNDR. It just came into it. Yeah.
Sorry, Paul. Only to to
Yes.
explain this to Lost in Paradise. When you mark the zone, when the and on the previous trades, the trade you took, when you mark the zone, we know that the last down move is what Pax call and other guys calls the SNDR.
Yes.
That one. And this is yeah, that one exactly that one. and that for me it's really clean. And if you saw it on the is to see it, if you look at it at the one in the 1 minute, we will see the fractal there. Just zoom in. Look, look the clear SNDR we have there. Yeah, yeah. So the entry for me it was really obvious from that point. That was I was trying to say when I saw I said clean SNDR. Got it? Lost in Paradise. Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's see. I wish NinjaTrader had that long and short tool. This I don't like this as much as the TradingView one does. Anyways, right, so possible golden chicken here, right? So you have a zone created, and within the zone you have a SNDR here, right? With 15-second fair value gap. Just delete this. 15-second fair value gap, right? Trade it back in, create a 15-second val low, right? So this potentially is a golden chicken. Um, right? So those who trade golden chickens, so you can look at something like this. I'm not sure how confident I would be to actually take this one as a trade. I like this one a lot. This one was like a setup and not A plus, and this is like kind of like a B plus or like a setup. All right. Let's see how this plays out. So this is I'm just throwing out this is a golden chicken. You're looking for an SNDR, right? Leaving 15-second fair value gap, looking for 15-second val low to trade in your short-term bias. Right, so my short-term bias is that we're taking this high at very, very minimum, probably potentially this high at least. So let's see if this one plays out. Right, little concerning because we kind of took this a little bit, so it's not that. Come on. All right, another 15-second fair value gap. I do like that. Come on. Yeah, this one not the best setup. Okay, now this is a bit concerning. Come on. All right, there we go. All right, so that's your golden chicken. Right, golden chicken does have less probability than golden goose. Right, what I typically do like is when I see a golden chicken and then a golden goose that sweeps the golden chicken, that's one of my A plus setups. It's looking for the sweep of the golden chicken. I really like those. Into a zone, right, would be my favorite, right? So golden egg. All right, yeah. So we got like three nice trades here. All right, now if we get a sweep of here, I would like that. All right, another one. There's like a 15-second fair value gap. So another golden chicken potentially, but for me, I'm trying to reduce the amount of trades that I take and only taking like the highest quality trades. It's part of my business, so I don't take every single one of these that I see. But this one looks nicer, right? So this one you got, did it sweep it? Okay, so it tapped right into it and gave us a closure here, right? So this is golden goose, right? You had the golden chicken, And you had the golden goose giving you the equal double bottom. All right, give us 15-second valid low. So let's look at this one. Right, and then tap, and then you're into the zone, right, taking the liquidity, right, with their bias clearly to the upside. Let's see if this one plays out. Come on, come on. Uh, come on, come on, come on. Uh-oh. Danger, danger, danger. All right, there we go. Come on. Boom. Okay, so that was a bit scary, but it worked out, right? So it was just sweeping a little bit more, mitigate a bit more, right? Maybe a better entry would be waiting for one more, but having the 5 point stop loss, it's gonna save you in case it wants to do one more of these sweeps. All right, so this one we
And
got a nice.
well, that's why it's so important to have room for the trade to breathe.
Yeah.
Because when we are taking that 15 seconds for value gaps, the entry was when you were reacting from a 15 value for value gaps. Lots of times you have SNDR, an SNDR zone below that one.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. That's what I call the A plus 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 whatever number of plus you want setups. These are the great zones. But lots of times price reacts from those 15 seconds for value gaps, and boom, goes away, and left you uh, without taking the trades.
Yes.
So we can enter if we have enough room to give it room to maybe making another sweep. And that's why it's so important not to take trades with big candles and having short room for price to breathe. That
Yes.
was a nice example, from that
Yes.
for that.
All right. Thank you, Sergio. So let's keep going. All right, so we got a nice move up. Let me zoom out just to take a quick glance at what the higher time frame is doing. Right, so we took this, and there's a fair value gap here. All right, so a bit of caution. Okay, so let's see what's going to do, and we have a pretty nice sharp move up here. And so let's see. All right, so another golden chicken, right, over and over and over again. So 15-second fair value gap, value low put in, and you got your immediate move. But not considering that as a trade at this point. Right, there's so many setups, right? Like you don't need to take every single one, right? You can be selective, right? And like, I mean, we all want to be like Sergio and get like 12 wins in a row, but we gotta respect our experience, right? Our experience is not at Sergio's level, so we want to make sure that we focus on being disciplined and being selective. Um, Here we go. So we just destroyed this fair value gap. There is, for me, a little move origin that we're seeing a little reaction from. All right. So coming down, we made a 5 minute valid high. So this is a bit of caution. We see a fairly large move up. So this is where we can be a bit cautious and sit on our hands as well, because we don't know this move origin how far it's gonna go down, right? Potentially can come back down to this SNDR before going up. This could even continue down lower now, right? Now that it hit its objective, it can now come down lower here. We don't know that, right? So we need to kind of sit on our hands. If we see another 5 minute valid low being put in, then that can tell us that we're ready to go up. Especially if we see a 15-minute valid high being put in, then definitely we want to be cautious and maybe look for shorts again, right? So that's where our confluences will really help us to sit on our hands and to avoid bad setups or taking bad trades, right? You might have been tempted here. I mean, look, even with that confluence, like here's you have a zone, right? You have a zone here. We swept this low, right? Got our 5 second, 15-second valid low, and you got 5 points. This is just hypothetically, not a trade that I took, right? Got your 5 points, right? 5 minute valid low, immediately down again. Okay, so it looks like 15. So we're at the 15-minute marker, right? Let's slow this down. Right, so now we're not sure what's happening, right? This is what we consider like the middle of the range, right? Where price can either like you don't want to get involved here, right? Because you don't know if price is going to go up or down, and you're basically gambling if you're playing betting on one side without knowing for sure, right? Um, but we have 5 minute valid high, and a 15-minute valid high is potentially about to create, has not created yet. My bar replay is not working. Let me fix that. Do you guys know a better way to fix it? Sometimes the bar replay doesn't work, so what I do is I just remove and re-add it, and then it starts working again. See, it's working now, but that's annoying. Okay, it looks like we are potentially going to put in a 15-minute valid high, so it looks like we do want to start heading down, right? But let's wait until 7 minutes left. Okay, if we flip here, that's pretty bullish. Okay, one more minute. All right, so we just created a 15-minute valid high. Let's go back to the 5 minute. And so potentially we can start looking for some shorts. But if we're gonna be going short, where are we going short to, right? Let's delete some of this, clean this up. So I'm thinking tap back into this zone is not mitigated, right? You also have some of these, we have some zone here, right? This is unmitigated, right? Here is unmitigated. So we just tapped into this unmitigated zone and came back up. Sweeping all these lows, right? So for me, I don't know if I'm immediately looking for shorts here, right? Just because I see a 15-minute valid high, 5 minute valid high, for me, it doesn't mean that right away I'm looking for shorts because I also consider my narrative and where am I going short to. Um, but I think for at least a short term, we can go down, right? Um, right, fair value gap is showing us still some signs of strength from bears to go down. We have a bullish response. So potentially if I see failure here, if we see a sweep of this, and then a move down, that could be a golden goose to the downside. All right, you have this zone here, and this is a golden chicken. So potential golden chicken, and then if we sweep the golden chicken, we will get a golden goose, right? So potentially this is a short, at least into some of these areas, would be my expectation, right? I don't like this fair value gap that was just created here. Strong move up. Let's see. All right, so bulls are pretty strong here, right? Not really a sweep. It's you're seeing bullish response after tapping into the zone, right? So again, like I said, even though we have a 15-minute valid high and 5-minute valid high, those are confluences and not necessarily rules. You still gotta have your narrative that kind of trumps it, and you're looking at price action. Right now, price action is showing us strength in bulls, right? It strength in bears would show that it fails to close above this bar, right? This is a bearish response or bearish move, but bulls just give a response overcoming the bearish bar. So this is fairly bullish, right? A fairly strong move. Um, and if we look at the 5-minute, I believe we just got a 5-minute valid low, right? 5-minute, potentially a 5-minute valid low coming in, right? So not quite, but still pretty bullish, right? And if you are have a bullish bias, right? Here's your golden chicken, right? So my bias is bullish, quite bullish, right now, right? So you got your golden chicken. If you want to be aggressive and take that just based on your bias, but not me. I'm gonna be more disciplined. All right, pretty strong move, leaving without us. Right, probably 15-minute valid high would be up here. Oh, looks like we just created a 15-minute valid low. Right, so 15-minute valid low, 5-minute valid low. So we're looking for longs, right? Right, and to take out these highs. That's my guess. Right, have a zone, maybe a little fractal here, or farmers zone. But let's see. Right, so golden chicken, right? But ideally, I would like to see this golden chicken. Yeah, golden chicken. Right, gonna move up. I think this is a bit risky, in my opinion, because I don't like this fair value gap. We could just be coming up into the fair value back and coming back down here to sweep this. So, excuse me. So I'll be looking for a golden goose, right? I'm not that confident personally. I'm not that confident in the golden chicken in this one just because of this fair value gap. I would much now that we tapped into it. If we got a golden goose, then this fair value gap would already be mitigated, and that would be a much better move if we get a golden goose, right? But it might also leave without me. Yeah, it's leaving without me, right? But so how'd you taking it? This one, right? There's your golden chicken. All right, I was too scared. I did not take that one. I see more wrote, but 3 1-minute swings should be we looking for continuation down. The factor was strong right above the zone. I'm not too sure what you mean, Maury. Um, so if you're mean like you're counting swings,
Yeah, there was when you said it should
ask
go
Timmy, ask
lower on
Timmy.
the 1 minute. Uh, right, you see this big wick
Yeah. So one, two,
down.
three.
Yes, no, on the left. So you had one, two, three down, and you assumed when you were talking in your narrative it will go down further than up.
Yeah,
Uh, so I
right.
was saying like we shouldn't be expecting continuation after the third one, uh, and
Yeah,
we just let them play.
yeah.
And the other one, the fractal on the right hand, the small down move in the small zone on the 15 second. I was saying it's strong. It's just right above
Yeah,
the
yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Um, yeah, I missed. You're right. I probably could have placed more. I don't know. I just wasn't confident. I wasn't sure because even like I understand the concept of counting swings, and there are some cases where I do, but I don't. Me personally, I don't count swings that much. Just because like I've seen moves where the swings are like 15 swings in one direction, right? Or I see two swings and then it changes direction, right? So like there's no swings can get kind of tell you if things are overextended or or just beginning of a trend, but um, uh, personally I just like I don't place too much importance of it. Like and I did mention that um, that one like we can come down and go up, come down here, go up. So I'm noticing that we are going to be bullish, and I did switch bullish, right? So once we saw the 5 minute and 15 minute value opening, like I was bullish, right? It's just that I don't know. I could have taken this one, but I didn't like the fair value gap, right? So I am bullish. I am definitely bullish in this case right now. And this could have been like a like a B plus setup for me. But I'm just trying to be disciplined and not take every setup that I see. Like I pointed out so many setups already, but if you notice, like I only maybe took like half of the setups that I saw, right? Just because for me personally, I'm working on being more disciplined and just being selective with my setups. Like I could just mechanically take everything that I just pointed out, and I would have done well, right? I think I would have won all the trades, right? But just in my
probably.
yeah, I would have won all the trades like pretty much that I called out. But just me personally, I'm just trying to be disciplined because I see so many trades every day, all the time. But I wanna get into a better habit. That's just me personally.
True. Actually, the discipline you put in your back test will translate into this discipline you put into your life choice. So
Yeah,
I get you.
yeah. And so here's a little trade, but let's see. So I mean, I would love. So like I mentioned, right? Like this is a golden chicken, but what I would love to see is I would like to see a golden goose. I love it when golden chickens get swept and turned to a golden goose into a zone, right? This is that's what I consider A plus. This is like a B plus, right? And yeah, it would have worked, and but I just want to find the ones that I consider A plus. Good point. We're going to New York, and yeah, thanks for reminding me of the time here. Yeah, so once I start seeing volatility increase, then yeah, I would switch to 12 points, and I do see volatility is starting to increase a bit, so we'll be mindful of that. Yeah, like right now, I would still stick to the five. It hasn't increased enough for me, but yeah, I would definitely be considering soon to increase it to 12 points. All right, so you see volatility starting to increase. All right, I want to see the sweep of this. No sweep. Keep in mind 5 minute. Okay, here we go. Um, so I'm not sure about this yet, right? So we need a candle closure above here. So we didn't get that yet. We didn't get a value low yet. And in addition, we're starting to create a 5 minute value high. No, not yet. Right, 5 minute value high would be below this candle. Right, so let's see. If we get an entry here. Okay. So here we go, an entry. So now I would do 12 points, right? So we swept some. This is not really a sweep, right? Because we were staying below here too long. But um, but me personally, like I know some people like Vic, they require very specific things for sweeps. But my what I look for primarily is I look has something been taken, right? And for me, this has been taken, this has been taken, and we're inside a an S&D. We have not yet created the 5 minute valid high. We're still quite bullish. For me, like this is a trade that I would still take, right? And so let's look at this. So let's look at 12 points now, right? And especially given we're doing a 12 point stop loss, right? To give us room, like this, like we still have this S&D below that can also protect us, right? And I'm ultimately thinking that this high is being taken. So let's see this how this plays out. Uh-oh. Come on. Ah, okay, first loss. Damn it. Yeah, see the 5 minute valid high was put in. Didn't go fast enough. Not good. Alright, so yeah, that's my first loss. It happens. Gotta move on. Gotta keep calm and clear and not let one loss get to you. Right now, if I get like 2 or 3 losses in a row, that's when I take that's when I take a break. Because then that tells me that I'm not seeing price clearly, and I need to reset. Right? Valid trade analysis. Yeah, thanks, Maury. Right. So now we have 5 minute and 15 minute, and this could also be because like New York is just opening 8:30, right? So like I don't know if there's some news here or something like that. I mean, it doesn't look like there's news. It looks like pretty right. But now it looks like price is heading down, right? Probably either we're gonna see a reaction here to go up, or we're gonna take this low. Um, right. SNDR, SNDR. Right. So this price action I don't like. Right. Not really a fan. Right. It's not really a clear trend. It's either we're gonna resume this trend or we're gonna now start a new trend. So it's not that clear to me. And we're in this large zone here that I'm expecting to continue a higher time frame trend to the upside. But if you were just using your confluences, the 5 minute, 15 minute, then no, then in that case you would look for shorts, right? Right, it's a pretty strong reaction, right? So for me, I'd like to see a 5 minute, 15 minute val low being put in, so then I can start looking at longs again. But right now it's kind of not clear, not nice price action, right? So 5 minute val low being put in, so that's good off of the S&D. Okay, no 15 minute yet. All right, looks like we are going down. All right, looking right. Still have not closed below with SNDR. All right, and then it's 9:30 is just around the corner. So here we're just waiting. Right, usually this will happen before the open, right? You just it's not really the optimal time to trade just before open, and then 9:30 is obviously coming around the corner. Okay, and I think 9:30. Yeah, 9:30 just hit. And obviously I don't know if there's news at 10 or anything like that, right? But this is pretty strong bearish move. Right now, this larger zone starting to be fully mitigated. There's a little here. Right, 5 minute. How this SNDR is holding this little fractal. I am expecting this. I'm still expecting this zone to hold. I'm expecting some more accumulation here, some fake outs. But I mean, let's see if it does. If this doesn't hold and we get strong closures below it, um, right? Then what we can see, right? There's yeah. So this is strong movement. Have this zone here, right? So we just mark off this zone within zone. But so far this is holding. You have a nice little sweep. It's holding. Um, Got some small little zone there. But for now, let's see what happens. So I'm not really bearish right now, just because higher time frame has not flipped. Right, we're at the point where we can flip. This is the 15-minute protected low. Right, we see this going like that. It's coming right down to the 15-minute protected low. Swept it, right, and now here we have a strong reaction up. Right, so I'm expecting this to hold for now. And if we break it, we can see some reactions, but then we would have a change in order flow. Right now, the order flow is still bullish, and I was again, my narrative is telling me that we are accumulating in this range, where we're tricking sellers to sell into the smart money, until proven otherwise. Okay, so we have a breakdown. Okay, reaction off of here. Let's see if we can get a 15-minute closure. It's coming up to 10:30. Time goes by fast. No, it's not. Yeah, 10:20, 10:25. Pretty strong move down, I have to say. So 15-minute structure, we just broke to the downside. I'm expecting us to tap back in though, but this looks like it's bearish, quite bearish, right? So this is inside structure though, and so this would be the final swing. This, even though we broke this would be like, right, a 4 hour structure now, right? So 4 hour structure. Oh, even here, there's a 4 hour swing here. Let's go to the daily structure. Oh, that's so ugly. Yeah. So for me, I'm just thinking about my narrative right now, right? So when I look at structure, look what price is doing. I'm looking for my narrative, right? Am I short? Like I'm trying to find a short-term bias, and for me right now, like obviously it's down, but it's not clear how far down. It's not clear when we're gonna bounce or if we're gonna bounce. So it's obviously you're just sitting on your hands until you have a short-term bias that's clear. You don't want to long try to catch this knife because it can just keep on going down, and you don't want to short either because you don't know when it's gonna react. And usually with a sharp move down, you can have a very sharp reaction up here, right? So it's a kind of a dangerous to trade here. Um, right, we're into a significant S&D where you can expect a reaction, right? So you don't really know what's gonna happen. For me personally, I would just be sitting out, especially at this time, right? But it's after 10:30 now, so ideally I do want to see after a sharp move down. Eventually, I do expect us to start slowly coming back up, right? To tap back into some zones that were left behind, start mitigating some fair value gaps, right? Make this one darker. Some fair value gap here, there, right? If I see a little flip here, I would be potentially bullish. Excuse me. All right, this looks like a little bit of a bottoming pattern, right? Starting to see some exhaustion, right? Starting to see a bit of a flip, right? No closure above yet. Oh, my candles just screwed up. Made it look ugly. Oh, see, this is why I don't like Ninja Traders. It glitches. Um, is it this thing that tells us that? I don't know. I think it's oops. Okay, here, so we got a flip, right? So after a large move down, we do expect us to come back to tap back into the zone that it fell out of, right? Just following structure, right? After a large move, we do expect it to come back up. Tapped into a significant S&D area as well that you do expect a reaction from, and we got a flip, right? So my short-term bias, can now start potentially looking for longs, right? 5 minute, we got a value low, right? Had a value low put in here. 15 minute, right? 15 minute, don't quite have a 15 minute value low yet, but we do have a flip on the 1 minute.
Well, let me just say that I will need to step out.
Yeah.
to prepare for some meetings.
Uh,
I'm enjoying a lot the back tests. It has been a good work. Mainly I like the not being not being FOMO and not the rush to take setups. You
yes.
waited uh, uh, with very in a calmer way with that flip. That flip is what kills lots of traders. And you are taking only the setups you feel comfortable with, and there is no problem to make a backtest session and end the session with 4 trades or five trades. There are plenty. There are enough. There are enough. You don't need to trade when you don't are confident. Uh, even if we have a clear short-term trend, but if it is not clear for you that during that trend the retracement is not clear for you, don't trade it. Wait for the next one, and then you are doing a great job on
Thanks.
that as well. So well done, and see you guys soon.
Thanks,
Okay.
Sergio. Thanks, Sergio. Have a good one.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we're going now. We're going now. Okay, guys, I'm probably gonna cut it here as well. Maybe I'll take look for one more setup here, and then I'm gonna cut it out. I realize the time's getting around 11:30, so in my time. So let me see if maybe one more trade. So again, I flip bullish at this point. My short-term bias is bullish, and I gave you kind of my reasoning why. Even though we don't have a 15-minute val low put in, which ideally you would want, but if we wait for a 15-minute val low, right, like that might be too late, right? We might actually start heading down again. We might start ranging, maybe making one more sweep of this low before heading up. Like typically when you change trend, it's never as clean, right? I know even in one of my videos, like I'm looking for like something like this, right? Change in order flow, right? It's never clean though, right? It usually looks more chaotic and looks more random than this, right? So when I draw these change in order flow, like this is the order that you want to find in the midst of chaos and randomness, right? You want to find the order of it, but it never looks that clean. And so even though we flipped here, right, it's not just gonna all of a sudden just shoot straight up, right? It might come up, and I'm expecting at least a short term coming up into this fair value gap, and that will put in a 15-minute val low. But after that, like anything's fair game, right? It can come back down. It can even come down, make a new low before heading up again. But I am expecting eventually that we head back up to at least this zone, or maybe we even flip and start heading higher, right? Like higher time frame structure, it looks like it's still bullish to me, right? Below this is quite bearish. This is internal structure. We took internal structure, but this is like the final line in the sand. If you're just looking at it clearly, right, this is the last swing low of this higher time frame, right, higher time frame, and so we're now at the move origin, right? So we can range around here for a bit and then head back higher, or if we're really gonna be bearish, then we would need to break this low, and that will you'll start seeing significant moves down. Um, so that's kind of my narrative. So this little flip here, I am looking for a little bit of a long, at least in the short term bias. Haven't got a sweep yet, so I'll be looking for one sweep into this, one more sweep. And I'll show you one more trade. Right, so you have golden chicken kind of little 15-second fair value gap, and then you got that golden chicken. I want to see a sweep, so come on, let me get me one more trade. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So we got our sweep into our zone, right? So this is a nice clean zone. I like Got a sweep, got a valid high. Let's go 12 points. Alright, watch this. Right away, come on. Ah, yeah, it was right after a flip. Nope, didn't work. Right, so maybe waiting for the 15-minute would have been the right thing. But anyways, that's it for me, guys. So again, like I place high importance on my narrative, right? And I look for price action to align with my narrative, and then I look for my entry, right? So that's how I trade. And I find pretty decent amount of success with it. Obviously, I took some losses, but yeah, you guys are very welcome, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll do a lot of these. We'll do a lot more of these, and hopefully other people in the community will start doing theirs as well. But yeah, you guys have a great day and get out, get some fresh air. Don't trade today. Market's closing soon, anyways. And yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know my voice is kind of it's not that well. Okay, guys, have a good day. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.